The Guardians. The explanations of the spiritual world of light. From Explanations number 29. From Explanations number 29. 4. In all period, in all eras, in all the ages of humanity, there has always been the significance, the meaning of the 7 seals, although in symbolic form. 5. In the first era, Israel experienced a great lesson in Egypt. During 7 years, this country enjoyed a great abundance, then was followed by 7 lean years, which had been announced by Joseph, son of Jacob. 6. In the far advanced first era, the people of Israel had 7 great prophets. 7. When the Master was among you, he delivered the 7 great parables of the kingdom, and when he was hanging from the cross on which the incomprehension crucified him, he bequeathed, as his last divine testament, the 7 words. 8. Behold that always, from the first of the eras to the last, the symbol of the 7 seals has been present and latent in the spirit of humanity. 9. When the 11 disciples were left without their master, they extended, across the face of the earth, the seed that he had entrusted to them, the seed of love, along their journeys through Asia, founded 7 churches, 7 congregations that they visited, and when this was not possible, they ministered to them through doctrinal letters. 10. Those 7 churches of Asia were also an image, a figure of the 7 seals. 11. In that same period, one of the 12 disciples of Jesus, permitted to reach an old age by divine will, was deported to an island, and in his loneliness, his spirit drew close to the Father. 12. Great was the spirituality that he attained, and there, far away from the materialism of the world, he was able to hear the voices of the arcanum and look into the great beyond. 15. John contemplated the one who is sitting on the throne, holding in his hand a great book sealed with 7 seals. 16. In front of him also stood an angel, who spoke to him, saying that neither in the heavens nor on earth was there a being worthy of untying those seals or opening that book. And John, on hearing these words, cried with great distress. 17. But then he saw that a Lamb drew near, and was the one opening that book, untying its seals from the first to the last. 18. That is the way John's vision began, and what you call the apocalypse. It was he, the first one, who spoke to mankind about the 7 seals. The apostle, the prophet, the spirit of great elevation, the disciple of Jesus, the advanced disciple of the Holy Spirit of great elevation, the disciple of Jesus, the advanced disciple of the Holy Spirit. He wrote what he saw and heard, and what he saw and heard were symbols and figures. 20. The sealed book with 7 seals is the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, and within it is found written the destiny of all the spirits, and the destiny of the people of God, Israel. 21. That book was closed, its content was a mystery. Not even the great prophets, nor the theologians, nor the just of the first eras, knew the existence of that book, nor its name, and much less its content. 22. Who, then, could open that book which is the wisdom of God himself, and is the beginning and the end, the original of all the spirits, and within which is written the lifetime of evolution, struggle, and perfection of all the spirits? 23. Who would have the spiritual capacity to open that book and show it as the light of the universe? 24. Nobody, only God himself, the sacrificed Lamb, Jesus the Messiah, in whom Christ incarnated in the second era. That is how he brought close to men the kingdom of the heavens, so as to make them feel their Father more intimately, nearer and accessible. In this manner, God showed man that the love of the Father is before anything else, that the divine Spirit is the universal love, the same that governs and gives life to all things. 25. The love of God took the flesh to become human, to establish a communication, by means of that love, between the heart of the Son and of the Father. 26. God becomes similar to man, to weep like a man, to bleed like a human, to show humanity of all eras, to demonstrate to mankind the infinity of his love, and so that the spirit of man would know that their God, their Father, cares for all his children, always loving them, suffering for them, because the spirits, man, and all things are something precious to the Father. 27. The worth of a spirit to God is infinite, a worthiness that he placed in him. And what is the price of that worth? The price of his blood. That blood by which he rescued the spirits from the darkness, is redeeming them from their carnality and from perdition. 28. That price, that divine blood fell upon each and every one of his children, so that, from that instant, all would be in him. 29. The consummation of the sacrifice, his vivid passion, and that most perfect ordeal of love on the cross, delivering himself for the sake of others, was what succeeded in opening his own spirit and his divine heart, his wisdom, and his most high mysteries, for the spirit of his children. 30. In this way, Jesus the Christ, the sacrificed Lamb, God himself as man in the second era, prepared the spirit of humanity, so that upon the advent of the third era, they would receive the light of the Holy Spirit, the light of the seven seals. 31. Each one of the seven seals represents one of the seven stages of the spiritual path through which all the spirits must travel to reach their destination, which is God. 32. The ladder of spiritual perfection, which leads the spirits into the bosom of God, has an infinite number of steps, but those seven are the most important ones, of major significance. Those are the seven stages which the spirit must cross along his journey toward perfection. They are the reflection and very clear example of the human life of incarnated spirits. 33. Here, within your own planet, without regard to race or culture, all men governed by periods of time of 7 days. And in your human history, you have also had a journey and a spiritual existence of 7 stages, from the first, which had the knowledge of the true God, the living God, God the Creator, to the end of time. 34. In a teaching given by the Divine Master through a human spokesman, he pointed out each one of the 7 stages that mankind has journeyed during the 3 eras. A messenger of the Father has preceded each one of those stages, and each one of those messengers has been the light of mankind. A light has been like a lighted candlestick in the darkness that has enveloped humanity all eras. 35. Each one of those candlesticks are symbolic figures, which are also contemplated by John. 36. Take into account that if your spirit has traversed and will have to pass through these 7 stages, it is because one single human life is not enough to give the spirit all the perfection that he needs in order to be able to sit on the right hand of the Father. 37. These 7 stages are reflection, an image of the 7 stages that your spirit has to go through in eternity. And the merits, the experience, And the evolution that you will acquire within these 7 stages, or 7 seals, shall be taken into account by the Father. 38. Your spirit will be learning what those 7 steps are, which form part of the infinite number of steps of the ladder that Jacob contemplated in his dream. The ladder of perfection of the spirits. 44. The theologians of the great Christian religions do not even concern themselves about these things. They cover up and hide them so that do not have to explain them because they are unable to understand them. 47. But the time will come when there will be talk all over the world about the sealed ones of Israel, about the tribes of the people of God, of the 7 seals, about the signs regarding the advent of the Holy Spirit, and about the return of the Word. 15. It is for you that the Father has opened infinite horizons, and a time has been prepared for you of spiritual revelations, of great peace and great knowledge, a time for truthful worship and a true communication with the Creator. 51. That will be the time when every eye shall see him, all ears will hear him, and every spirit shall feel his presence. 54. My brothers, these things had been the concern of man long ago. The generations who held in their hands the prophecies of John had understood that great revelation that the Father bequeathed to mankind through the apostle. Everyone would have prayed and been watchful, pleading enlightenment from the Father, the illumination to feel his coming, and prepare themselves for the events that draw near. 57. And now, my brothers, new calamities are drawing near, great hecatombs and cataclysms, enormous trials for mankind, new mournful sounds of pain, and greater cups of bitterness that the world must yet drink. 58. If mankind would have prepared themselves, the trials would not be so painful nor their darkness so great.